Hello there, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of Who Wants to Be a Monado Heir? I'm your host, K Jewelers, and today I am joined by Xeno Man and lover of all things Finch himself, Luxin.
Hello. I didn't have a clever thing planned out to say here, but I am in fact here, so hi.
Well, I did kind of put you on the spot there a little bit. Well, actually, it's something interesting. We kind of talked about it a little bit, but you said this is pretty much going to be your only final for the semester?
Yeah, so, funny story. I had a full semester of college, like, in the normal spring semester, ending mid-May and stuff, and I graduated and all that fine, but I did not take any final exams because the entire school internet server went down. So, like, the entire .edu domain for our school was inaccessible for a good half a week, and I still can't use email without a special VPN. Normally, just to take this exam, I had to have a camera pointing at my computer screen and myself at the same time somehow. But then, 20 minutes before the exam starts, everything goes down. The Zoom call's fine. But the TA is like freaking out, trying to get in contact with the professor. Eventually every final after the time things went down was just straight up cancelled, so I didn't have to take any, because the only class I had a final in before then, it was you could take the final to raise your grade if it wasn't good, and I already had an A, so I was like, okay, don't have to do that one. So I haven't had to take any finals since my finals in the fall 2020 semester. So this 15 multiple choice questions about video games is the only final exam type thing that I'm going to have to do this year.
And hopefully it's a good final. I mean, you could be the judge of that when we get to the very end.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the problem. If this was a normal final, 15 multiple choice questions, I could get one question wrong and still get an A. Mm-hmm. In order to get, I have to get them all right in order. Mm-hmm. I can't just get the first question wrong and ace the rest of them. So that's extra pressure. But I've definitely put more hours into these games than I have probably studied for any individual class.
I think that's probably going to help you out a lot here.
Probably.
Like you said, you got to get them all right, but the only shortcuts that you're getting are the 4 lifelines that we have here. And now I know that you've seen the previous episodes, but just for the sake of clarity, as well as for...
Enlighten the chat here.
Yeah, as well as for the viewers. Our first lifeline here is Shulk. Essentially what this does is you can pop it at any time that you want. And I will give you some sort of quick video or image related to the correct answer of a future question. Hopefully it'll help guide you. So for example, if you're on question 10, it'll be helpful for questions 11 through 15. Next up we have Klaus. Klaus is just going to be our 50-50. I'm going to cross off 2 incorrect answers, leaving you with 1 correct answer and 1 incorrect answer. Aegis, this is your phone a friend lifeline. If you have a buddy, we can get them on in here. You're going to have 30 seconds on the clock as soon as you start reading the question, and hopefully they can guide you to the correct answer. And then finally, Amalthus, this is our assy audience. You lovely people in the chat will be able to help out Luxin if he does summon the power of the Praetorium here with this. Luxin, do you have any questions before we go jump into the questions? I just said questions a lot.
I don't, but I'm just cracking up internally because I only just realized that the Amalthus one is, yes, my loyal servants, I call upon your powers to elevate me beyond.
Right, exactly.
All of the other ones, like, completely made sense lore-wise, and I was like, oh, that's why it's the Amalthus
one.
Right,
you gotta get the goodwill with the people, you know, in order to move on up in the world.
Climb the metaphorical world tree.
Mm-hmm. And then take your goodies and run.
Yeah, basically. I mean, at least the final prize is 1,000,000 gold and not actually having to become the heir to the Monado, because I'm not Shulk, and I don't feel like giving up an arm. I'd rather just take money.
And that is 10 times the amount that somebody would wet themselves at the sight of. Just throwing that out there right now.
Right, exactly.
Luxin, if you don't have any questions, we can go ahead and dive into our first question here then. Let's find out if Luxin has what it takes to be our next Monado Heir here on the show. But, Luxin, you should know, as with every episode, I'm gonna ask you a question that is tailored to you. Philosophy.
Hey, see, I saw the comment on the episode asking for this one to be the meme question.
Okay.
So I'm like, alright, if this shows up, the comment specifically asked for the answer to be yes, he is redeemable. But I'm also going to, like, as a disclaimer, Egil is my favorite villain from 1. And you kind of got me into thing, because teasers for a future video, I guess. I'm doing something about how the series is really bad at painting its sympathetic villains in a good light, and I was going to use Egil as a good example of like, oh, I definitely feel bad for him, and I'm going to play to the audience and go with A here, because that's what everyone thinks is the correct answer, even if I personally disagree.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, it is. You can clip this and torment me with it on Twitter for the rest of all time.
Luxin, that is not correct. Egil is just, he's dead. Like, somebody just...
Boom.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Like, he did one good thing. If he stuck around and lived out the rest of his natural life and stopped doing what he was doing, then yeah, maybe. That's my whole thing. He did one good act at the end. That's not enough to... Alright, I know I'm talking to Mr. Cell profile picture, so... talking about Vegeta and all that, but... at least he knew the people he killed could come back.
But then we get into the Star Wars period. Like, did Anakin Skywalker or Darth Vader get redeemed at the end?
I've only seen the original trilogy, so I can't weigh in on that. And a lot of people are probably going to be like, good, don't watch the rest of them.
That's true. Vegeta did go to hell both times that he died.
So he might have been a bad guy, objectively then, but at least he didn't do drugs, because he only went to hell after he died.
Right,
and as we all know from Super Mario... he didn't go to hell before he died, so at least he didn't do drugs.
Because drugs can kill. And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
I was about to say the exact same thing. Thank you so much for that.
I'm glad we're on the exact same meme wavelength.
Well, unfortunately, you are not a philosopher. You are not a scholar because you got this question incorrect.
Okay.
However, there is still a chance for you to become a Monado Heir. So let's go ahead and jump into the first real question here. So, for 500 gold, in the beginning of Xenoblade Chronicles, Shulk eats what food delivered by Fiora at Outlook Park? A. An apple, B. A hot dog, C. A sandwich, or D. A rice cake?
Yeah, it's a sandwich. It's always delicious, but this time, it's amazing. My final answer is C, and sandwich.
Luxin, you were correct. It is a sandwich.
Also, just realized you put "eats" in air quote. I thought you were. I was just. Oh wait, did he just debate me? And then he does. It's none of the above because he doesn't actually eat it.
Bro, where does that sandwich go? There's a bite in it. How did he even eat that if he can't eat the rest of it? I don't know.
Well, yeah, is the bite in it before he actually starts fake eating it? And they just hit it with camera angles? I'm not actually sure. Also, it's the interesting. There's the neat parallel that in every single main game in the series, a main character doesn't eat food.
Right.
So Shulk doesn't eat the sandwich in 1, Rex doesn't eat the crust dip in 2, and Lyn never eats Tatsu in X.
I was like wondering where you were gonna go with the X one, but there you go. Well played, well played.
See, Tatsu food jokes can be funny.
Well played. That was clever. That's the one Tatsu food joke I think actually worked. But alright, let's go on to our next question here.
Alright, let's keep going.
For 1,000 gold, who was the mascot for Monolith Soft's Japanese Twitter account? Is it A. Cosmos, B. Monopon, C. Pyra and Mifra, or D. Sophica?
It is B, Monopon. Also known as the secret boss and some number true hero pon, because I know Ricky's the second because of that one side quest, and then Tora becomes one and she's the...
Luxin, you are correct. It is Monopon. Alright, there you go. 2 down. Hope the confidence is coming in a little bit here.
Yeah.
Let's go on to question number 3. For 2,000 gold, in Finch's Blade quest, Birds of a Feather, the party travels to Turkenlandia to find the Countess. Where is Turkenlandia located? Is it A. Gormott, B. Lefurian Archipelago, C. Morardain, or D. Tantal?
It is D, Tantal, which I remember because you have a bunch of different Merc missions to try and find the Countess. And I did the Tantal one last, so I was sitting there for like 50 minutes trying to finish Finch's quest and not being able to do anything.
You are correct. It is Tantal. Well done. I really like Turkenlandia. It's just the notion that Turkens keep establishing nations across all the different Xenoblade games.
It's weird how, like, Turken civilization hasn't advanced at all the 500 years.
They stick to what they know, and what they know works.
And what they know is literally sticks.
Right. But the good sticks.
I mean, if they survived the fall of Torna, who can really blame them? Actually, if they're in Tantal, if their main, like, monarchy has moved to Tantal, that means that some of them escaped Torna and reestablished society where the Tornans reestablished society in Tantal. So maybe they're the real ones in charge.
Luxin, I smell an upcoming video here in the future, do you?
This might be April Fool's 2022.
Let's go for the next question here for Free K. With each of Shulk's taunts, he spouts out a referential line. Which of these lines does he not say during any of his taunts? A. I'm really feeling it. B. Now it's Shulk time. C. Monado, show me the way. Or D. This is the Monado's power.
Would be C. Monado, show me the way. I'm sorry, I am a Shulk main, on the off chance that I do actually play Smash.
I do remember you telling me you were a Shulk main. And you are correct, it is Monado, show me the way.
That is one of my favorite in-battle quotes of his, though. I don't know, just the cadence on that one is neat.
Our final question here before our first checkpoint of sorts. For 5,000 gold, which of these is not an ice elemental blade? A. That should be Godfrey. I'm pretty sure I missed a letter there. B. Fury. C. Perun. Or D. Dahlia.
Yeah. It's okay, you got the god part, so you're still correct about him. Let's see. Theory and Dahlia, I know immediately off the top of my head. Then Godfrey, I only think about Godfrey because it's really funny that his Japanese voice actor is Yamcha, which is it's too perfect, honestly. Hello? I can't hear anything. Okay. Okay, good.
Hold up 1 second. I'm checking something. Alright, so something didn't transfer correctly here in my notes. Apologize for that. We have Godfrey, Praxis, Perun, and Dahlia.
Okay. The correct answer is Praxis. I was like, wait, is Perun water? I thought she was ice.
You are correct.
So
I screwed that up.
Okay, I was about to say Perun because I knew as a fact the other three were ice, and was like, okay, guess the one that I'm not sure about. So I'm glad you stopped in my, because I was going to go through a really long build-up about how, alright, I know it's a fact Theory and Dahlia are, and then, oh, I only remember Godfrey because of the Yamcha thing, and because Chugga just specifically pointed out how he might have supposed to have been a fire blade. So I guess the answer is Perun, even though I thought she was ice. I guess she's water.
This is why we triple check, kids, because...
Okay.
On my notes, so when I was making this, for some reason, I was thinking of Fury and Praxis, and then I put Fury on there instead of Praxis. So,
oh, you put the wrong one?
Yeah, I put the wrong one. I tricked myself.
No.
So, whoops. My bad.
So minus 5,000 gold to you, plus 5,000 to me.
I am not the Monado Heir. I was never meant to be. At this point, we have 5 questions down. How are you feeling right now?
Pretty good, pretty good.
You still have all 4 of your lifelines right now, which is great. And we only have 10 questions left here, so you ready to move on?
I am, in fact, ready to move on to question number 6.
Alright, let's go ahead and get it here. So, for 7,500 gold, how many Pawn Spectres in total compose the brigade? A. 9, B. 10, C. 12, or D. 13?
Alright, let's see. I know as if there is one called 10-2, who I think is the first one you find, and he should that's number 12. I'm worried you're gonna, because there might be a quiet moment where Kino or Nene becomes an honorary Pawn Spectre, but I'm going to assume that doesn't happen and go with C, 12. That is my final answer.
We're correct, it is 12. Yeah, it's just like all the different Pawn Spectres. You pretty much just nailed it right on the head. All their names are references to different numbers from 1 to 12, so you have like 1-1 and then 10-2. Like
I forget what all of them are, but some of them are really good because I think that they couldn't think of proper things for 6 and 7, so they just use Hex and Sept instead.
Yeah, they had to reach for a couple of them.
Yeah, 3 is Dry, which I'm assuming is supposed to pronounce Dredry, because British.
Or, I'm wondering, because isn't German for 3 July?
That might be. They might just be using a bunch of different languages that I don't understand all of them.
Let's go on to our next question here. Nice work on that one. For 10,000 gold, what region or event in Xenoblade Chronicles X is this song tied to?
Oh, in true Xenoblade X fashion, that was really, really loud. Thankfully, that was the one that I knew I was going to I would recognize. I believe that is A, Oblivia.
You are correct. It is Oblivia.
I have no idea why they decided to include the main theme of the game in the Oblivia theme, but I'm glad they did because it's really cool.
We love motifs here. They're great. So I'm all for it. It's one of my favorite songs. Nice work on that one.
That was one of my worst nightmares, an X music question.
well, you nailed that one though.
At least you said, at least it was which region or event, and not what is the actual name of this song on the soundtrack.
Oh no, I'm not that mean. Oh my gosh. Our next one here, I believe this one is for 15k gold. Which of these races are native to the planet of Mira in Xenoblade Chronicles X? Is it A, the Manon, B, Rothian, C, Napon, or D, Milsati?
Let's see. So, Manon, they get their own ship, and they come from their own... I don't know if we ever get a name for their planet, but they also crash-landed on Mira about the same time as the Ganglion did. Rothian and Milsati are both in the Ganglion's employ and came along with them, but the Napon are the Napon and L, so I guess Napon and Tieflings are both native to Mira, so the answer is C, Napon, or Nopon, because we're talking about X.
You are correct. It is Nopon. And like you said, it is Nopon in Xenoblade X.
If I said Napon, would it be wrong?
No, because
that's the thing. I know Nopon and Xeno are both correct. Like, objectively, they are supposed to be correct. I'm pretty sure the katakana spelling of both of them has no and not na, but I heard the wrong one first, so I'm going to keep using that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was. Let's find out. For 25,000 gold. What is the name of the anthropomorphic character aboard the Yggdrasil and Xenogears, who asked if you'd like to listen to some hot sounds? A, Gunter, B, Franz, C, Berna, or D, Lot?
It is B, Franz. He's unironically one of my favorite minor NPCs in the series. Just because just the idea that he's a dolphin and he's the sonar guy. And their sonar gear is so garbage, I think he is just using his echolocation until the ship gets upgraded. I love it. I am locking in B here.
You are correct. Y'all thought I wouldn't put a Xenogears question in here, but your boy is working through it, so now I can start sneaking a little bit more of these into these quizzes, and I love
I didn't even know you were playing it.
Yeah, I'm not too far, but I love Franz. He's just a dolphin dude just chilling there. Well, you knocked out the Xenogears question. Final question here until we reach our second checkpoint. You still have all your lifelines. You're doing great right now. For 50,000 gold, which of these artists was responsible for the design of Finch? A, Choco, B, I'm going to butcher the rest of these names, so please excuse me, Kunihiko Tanaka, C, Nakaba Higurashi, and D, Shunya Yamashita.
It is B, Kunihiko Tanaka.
For 50,000 gold. You are indeed the Finch master. Nobody can challenge you on that.
I'm extremely mad because there's a bunch of cool dev interviews for 2, and they were all translated except the one with Tanaka where he talked about his design process for Finch and Cosmos. All I was able to glean from it, I Google translated it, and all I was able to glean from it is that her color scheme was based on a bunch of different motifs from the series, and she was partially inspired by his pet cockatiel.
Interesting.
Which is why I'm mad that she's named Finch. Because she's literally a cockatiel.
It's just false advertising at that point.
Yeah.
Extremely well done. We have hit our second checkpoint. You still have all 4 of your lifelines going into these 5 final questions.
Yes, I do, and I am slightly less worried than I probably should be because of that.
You have all the tools at your disposal right here. Don't feel like you have to take the guess, because you can play it safe here. You know what? If you want to go without using any lifelines, you do you. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Yeah, don't tell me how to break my own game. Let me find the OP strats myself.
That's true, that's true. Are you ready for 75 grand here for this question?
I'm ready for 75 grand.
All right, let's get it, guys. The final stretch. What is the name of the nation that the Blade Doggus comes from, as discovered through his Blade quests? A, Sia, B, Spezia, C, Judicium, or D, Regidaria?
I did not remember the exact name ahead of time, but the other 3 come up in Torna and the main game. It's D, Regidaria.
Is that your final answer?
It is.
You are correct. It is Regidaria. Yeah, that's just one of the nations that's thrown into the mix, and then you're like, I want to know more about that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Out of all of those, that's the only one we're not sure if it actually exists. Because it's like, Sia we see get Malost at the beginning of Torna. Judicium we go to the ruins of. Specia we see get a Malthus at the end of Torna. And then there's mixed home nation, Estum, which we know exists because someone who isn't a blade remembers it existing.
Here we go. Our next question for 150,000 gold. In Torna, the Golden Country, it is revealed that Haze is afraid of what? A. Arachnos, B. Amalthus, C. Vangs, or D. Ghosts?
I'm actually not sure on this one. I'm going to assume that it's not a Malthus because everyone's afraid of a Malthus in that game. So I think I'm going to take the 50-50 on this one.
Okay. We are using the first of our lifelines here, so we do not have a lifeline-less run.
I was not planning on it. I did not have that sort of energy going in.
No challenge mode this time, but that's fine. With the power of RNGesus, I will cross off 2 incorrect answers. And after doing that, the 2 answers that are crossed off are A. Arachnos and B. Amalthus, which leaves you with C. Vangs and D. Ghosts.
Oh no. I was betting on Amalthus being one of the ones that was left. Let's see. Trying to think of times things come up where Vangs or Ghosts would be mentioned. I'm trying to remember if this even comes up during the main story, because I'm pretty sure you have to fight Vangs as part of the main story. But because I know there's the Ether Miasma tutorial, and I think some of the monsters you have to fight there are Vangs, but I don't remember if there's any cutscene and dialogue related about that. And I can't remember at all Ghosts coming up. But Ghost seems like something Haze would be more scared of, since she fights stuff on the daily, so I'm gonna flip a coin and go with D, Ghosts.
Now, Luxin, are you sure going with this? You are allowed to use another lifeline if you'd like to. But if you feel confident...
I'm gonna go with it.
Luxin, for 150,000 gold. You are correct, it is Ghosts.
Okay. I was saved just by not remembering Vangs coming up in Torna.
There's a side quest where they're right outside Arsco, I always butcher that pronunciation. They just start, like, terrifying her with the idea of ghosts, and she's like, no, stop.
Oh, Haze, I've got a cracking ghost story for you.
You want to tell it now?
Yeah, it's a real spine tingler. Grandad once told me. Kept me up at night for days.
No, please keep it to yourself.
Amalthus is a correct answer. It's just correct for more than just Haze.
Yeah, she has that very apt quote at the end of Torna for Amalthus. We have 3 questions left.
I was not a fan, Lenorn, of that line.
Oh my god, no. Alright, the episode's over, everybody.
Yeah, I deserve to lose for that.
No Monado Heir here today.
I think I'm legally obligated to mention that I just got a DM from an L saying I'm going to fight you for not knowing the Haze quest.
For 250,000 gold, let's go to our next question. Last 3, the final stretch. Which of these locations can be found on the Bionis' leg in Xenoblade Chronicles? A. Windy Cave, B. Seric Waterfall, C. Yellowflower Grove, or D. Showdown Cliff?
I know Yellowflower Grove is Machina Forest. I'm pretty sure Showdown Cliff is either like Valak Mountain or the Land of Moratha in 2. I'm trying to remember, because I know there is a Windy Cave in 1. I think it's on Bionis Leg, but I know there's also a Kisk Cave, and I'm trying to remember if there's more than one cave on the leg big enough to get its own name. I don't remember Seric Waterfall. It sounds like that could also be Machina, or also in Gormod. So I think it's A, Windy Cave.
Is that your final answer? Locking in A?
Is my final answer.
You are correct. It is Windy Cave.
Okay.
Seric Waterfall, I believe, is Valak Mountain. You're right, Yellowflower Grove is Machina Forest, and Showdown Cliff is Air Sea.
Oh, that's where the one really stupid Chromar unique monster is, I think. Or no, it's either the stupid Chromar or the stupid X with the really annoying spike.
Either way, it's not fun. We don't like that area.
Yes, correct.
For 500,000 gold. In Xenoblade Chronicles X, how many total Frontier Nav sites, or FN sites, are there? A. 87, B. 95, C. 104, or D. 122?
This is the second to last question, correct?
Correct.
Okay, well, first I'm just gonna use the Shulk lifeline just to get my hint in case I make it past this one.
That means that Shulk will automatically be giving you a vision of the final question here. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Out of all the questions, this is the one I was hoping it wouldn't be.
And if I make it to the second to last question, I'm going to use the Glimpse to Future lifeline to give me a hint for the last question so I don't have to think.
Exactly, but I thought maybe you'd pop it earlier, so here we are now with this.
You should have just switched the last two questions because I have no idea what this one is. I'm probably going to be using another lifeline.
Alright,
I just took a number theory class, so thanks for making me completely overthink whatever this is going to be. I'm currently trying to think of prime numbers and numbers that are congruent to 1 modulo 4. So thanks. I'm probably going to ask the audience here, but I'm just going to see if I can at least eliminate something. I remember it being triple digits, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And I'm pretty sure that there's not the same amount of locations in every continent, so I don't think it's 95 just based on divisible by 5. But I can't be certain, so I think I'm going to ask the audience.
Alright guys, we're gonna go ahead and assist Luxin here, and I will be putting a poll in the chat so you can check that out. And once I get the final results, I will report it to Luxin, and hopefully we can get him the right answer here.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Alright! Well...
Oh no.
only one of them received votes.
Oh.
C received 15 votes.
I'm gonna go with C then.
Sure you want to trust them?
I'm gonna risk it.
You are correct. It is 104. Yeah, good job, guys. You got Luxin here to the final question, so good work. Here we are. 1,000,000 gold. Luxin, are you ready? At this point, you still have Aegis left as a lifeline because you just popped Shulk, so that is all you're left with. But you have that number 17 to help guide you.
I am ready.
So let's get it.
Okay.
For 1,000,000 gold. According to the most recent statistics from Monolith Soft, what percentage of the employees identify as women? A, 27.3, B, 28.6, C, 29.6, or D, 30.4?
What does that have to do with 17?
Might take a little bit of thinking, you know, a little bit of diving into the mind of casualers on this one. You still have another lifeline.
That is true. And I'm mad, because they're all over a quarter. And I just knew that it was over a quarter. That was it.
A few moments later.
17 is a prime number. 29 is the only other prime number. But it's also not an exact number. You know what? I've got a calculator here, so let's...
Now, I know when you said that this was going to be your final exam for the year, that I was going to make you work for it. I was going to make you work for that A+ here.
Alright, so let's try converting these into 3-digit numbers and dividing by 17.
20 minutes later.
I'm trying to think of, alright, what math things can I do? Only interesting thing I can think about 17 is that it's a prime number.
It is indeed a prime number.
I'm also not confident that I know anyone else who would know this off the top of their head either, because I'm usually the one who focuses a lot on that kind of stuff. Nothing else to do but just keep doing numbers.
I mean, you have a lifeline.
I do have a lifeline, but I'm not confident that I know anyone who would know. So that's my conundrum.
Maybe it'd just be comforting to talk to somebody though, you know? in this moment, maybe this moment of stress, you just need a calm presence in your life for 30 seconds. Only 30 seconds.
Maybe. I haven't run out of dumb math tricks to pull yet though. That's the other thing. Let's see. Okay, 17 squared is 289, so that doesn't help at all.
A lot of boring math later.
Where did you pull 17 from? Because, let's see, I know it's been consistently going up, which is neat, because, last time I think it was the first time they broke 25%, which Oh, yeah, just 25%. That's a really big deal for Japanese game industry.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, it's really awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Like, they've gone on record to say that I don't think they've crunched since Saga 2. So they haven't crunched for like 15 years as a studio, which is ridiculous.
And that's fantastic. This is why in Monolith Soft we trust. At the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't feel bad shilling their games because I know they actually treat their employees properly.
I'm enjoying reading people's thoughts in the chat. People have some interesting theories. I'm just telling you though, unlike a college exam where you're just chilling in that chair, left to your own devices, you have a lifeline, you have a buddy for free. It's kind of like, you know those college events where you can go pet the dogs and it's like a stress relief fair? It's kind of like that, you know, you can have that dog buddy for free. For absolute free.
Okay, if I divide 2401 by 17, I get 141, which is not useful.
Oh, the orbital ring music stopped. No, not that yet. You don't get that yet.
Although the 17th letter in Who Wants to Be a Monado Heir is A. So that's a possibility. I think I might be ready to answer. It's not what I was leaning to at the beginning, but 27.3 is the only number I remember them actually saying at any point. So I think I'm going to go with A. I'm probably going to regret this, but I'm going to do it.
Now, I do have to ask this question because we are at 1 million gold. Luxin, you have a lifeline to go. You're saying, nope, I'm fine. A's my final answer. Is that what you want to do?
I think I'm going to lock it in.
Luxin, for 1 million gold, the final question. I'm sorry, that is incorrect.
It was the previous one. It was the previous release. Was that one probably?
One of the previous ones. If you add 2, 9, and 6 together, you get 17.
That would have been the second one I went for because I think they boosted it by 1% in between.
Yeah, as soon as I heard the calculator come out, I was just like, oh boy. Because at first I was gonna do digital roots, and then I was like, wait, he hasn't played 999, so I just decided to add them together.
Oh no, I forgot addition existed.
You did so well. You got all the way to the final question, but I'm sorry. You do not get to get the title of Monado Heir this time.
Oh
but
no.
As always next time. Luxin, first off, thanks so much for hopping on and being a guest. It was also just a lot of fun.
Fine, I was happy to be here.
Yeah, definitely. So, I guess then, at this point, where can people find you?
youtube.com/channel. Just look up Luxin on YouTube and look for a picture of Finch. That's the easiest thing to do. It's easier than remembering my custom URL. And then, actually, it might be easier. Just go to _Luxin on Twitter and click whichever link there interests you, except the Discord one, because I'm not streaming regularly, so I'm not opening the Discord server yet. But I might also stream eventually. If I do, it's probably going to be either getting random weird Xeno footage for different things, or playing through the entire Trail series, which is 9 games long. So, that's gonna be fun. And just for the record, Anella's been making jokes about this both in my DMs and publicly on Twitter. I didn't call him for the lifeline because I thought it would have been unfair to get someone who literally won already.
Well, that's fine. You're allowed to do that.
Oh man!
I didn't know that was your apprehension. If that was
that was my apprehension, because the only person I knew who was online who might know it was Anel.
No, bro!
And I didn't I'm not calling a past champion to give me the answer for the last question.
No!
I thought you would have stepped in on that.
No, you're totally allowed to ask other people that have done it before.
Oh,
you
well.
can ask anybody. You could call Takahashi. I don't care. Guys, thank you so much again for watching.
Thank you all for showing up.
Yeah, definitely. This is the first stream I've done in a while. I will catch you for the next episode. So, until next time, y'all.